Welcome, everyone. This is the April 2021 meeting of the Camera Club of Richmond. Glad to have everyone here. We are delighted to have a presentation for you tonight. But before we get into that, we do have a little bit of a business meeting for our club. So my name is Karen Davis. I'm the publicity director for the club, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to our new president, Bob Schamerhorn, who's going to have just a few announcements, I think, for us. There may be a couple of board members that want to make a couple of announcements. And at this point, I'm just going to turn it over to Bob. And then Bob, when you're done with the announcement part, why don't we take a little quick pause? I'm going to break the video and then I'm going to start it again so that we have just a separate video of your presentation. So let's go ahead and do our club meeting, and I'll turn it over to Bob. And Bob, you are still muted. I'm sorry. I muted everyone, including you. Start over.
Boy, you really did mute me. So welcome everybody to the April meeting of the Camera Club of Richmond. My name is Bob Schamerhorn. I'm your current club president, as Karen said. Glad to be of service to the club. I always firmly believe in participating in the clubs I belong to. I belong to several, and so I stay very busy with those, but it's nice to show up and actually be part of the group. To me, it really helps feel connected in the group. So if you're here or been here for a while or new as a guest, and come on in and join us. We'll be glad if you got some time you can dedicate for service. We'd love to have you help with things. There's always something to do. When we're back to meeting together, for instance, we will be needing a librarian that can just help with the books, wheel them out, and kind of help keep an eye on where they're going to and coming from and that sort of thing. We also, as a matter of fact, need a newsletter editor, which is AKA the publishing director position. So it comes with a great title as well. It just takes, minimal amount of organizational skills and a little bit of desktop publishing. If you don't know that, we can get you started on it enough too. So just so you know, those are available. If that's something you might want to help out with, please feel free to reach out to any of the anyone in the board. You can contact us through the website. There's a general email that goes out as well through the communications positions. And so just to really kind of get right into the business part of this meeting, and then we'll get to talk about some new members that are in and things like that as well. But as I mentioned, we've been working very hard on the bylaws. It's the bylaws are, it's kind of like reading dry toast in a way, just because, it is what it is. But it's a very important document, I believe, for the club to have, and to have to where it is properly associated to how our club functions. It helps and guides us. For me, when I stepped in as president, the first thing I asked for was, where's the directions? And so the bylaws sort of fit that bill and guide me towards what do we do, what can we do, who does what, and that sort of thing. So I hope you've had a chance and have read the bylaws, the new version. I, in the beginning, did not push out a big list of like marking changes everywhere and stuff, because I hope people would receive it and view it as the standalone document it is. But last week we did push out a little bit of sort of crib notes to the primary changes to the bylaws. I can best describe as we changed the bylaws everywhere throughout, start to finish, but the basic fundamentals of the club and its functions did not change barely at all. So there really wasn't any big sweeping changes in that. We primarily focused on unifying the terminology throughout it so that it clarified meeting types and membership types and things like that. It did sort of designate an annual meeting, which the club has had anyways. It just now is officially called the annual meeting. It states when that is and that sort of thing, just so that we know functionally as a club when things are supposed to happen as well. Let's see. I think we did change the name of one of the committees from publicity to communications, mostly due to the fact there was some overlap and confusion over publications and publicity. They sound alike, and so that helps hopefully clarify some of that a little bit. And let's see here. We softened the terminology when it comes to visitors or guests to meetings. Some of that is a little bit Zoom driven, but the previous language basically stated that you got 2 visits and then you were expected to be a member or not. And so we kind of softened that terminology and left that time length decision of how many visits is too many up to the board or board members themselves. And let's see. And that's pretty much the encompassing changes to that. The rest, like I said, was pretty much just trying to clarify and designate the positions and the terminology throughout the document. So first, before we get towards whether or not we're going to vote on that, is there any discussion that anyone feels compelled to have prior to us having a motion to do that? Karen, can you unmute everybody for a moment there? Does anyone have any questions or comments about the new bylaws?
I don't think I can unmute all. So if you do want to speak, just look for your microphone in the lower left-hand corner and just turn your microphone on and let us know. I guess this is no news is good news. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that silence too, because we worked long and hard too. And I also do want to thank, we eventually, after the whole board banging away at this till they were sick of it, we took the 4 least sick people and put them in a subcommittee, 4 or 5 of us. And, you know, really especially want to put out a special thanks to those: Ling, Whitworth, Carol Hageman, Frank Mercado, Karen Davis, and myself. And we kind of put the final polishing coats on the last few of the statements that are in there. And I hope it's something as a group we can feel proud of that fits our club in its current state as well.
And Doug Turner. Doug started the ball.
Doug, yeah. Yeah, thanks, Karen. And so I guess with that moment of silence there too, if there is no discussion going forward, I will entertain a motion to accept the bylaws as written. If someone would like to make that motion.
So moved. This is Jay Denny.
Thanks, Jay. All righty. Can I get a second? Second. Was that you, John?
Yes.
John Schickler seconded the motion. So we're going to vote. On your screen is going to pop up a voting window. You should be able to see it now. If you don't see it, let us know. We'll get your response in the chat, but it's pretty straightforward. Yes, no, or abstain. Karen, do you have can you get a count of how many people are?
And from my Ivory control tower here, I can see that 37 of 45 have voted, 38.
I can't vote because I'm a host.
You're a host. I know, same here. And I have a proxy from
voted.
Ed Tepper, who could not attend tonight. So Ed gave me his proxy. And I
have one of the same too for Lori.
Okay. All right. Well, I believe most of the votes have been tallied at 41 of 45. So I'm going to end the poll. And actually, this is really kind of cool. You can share the results. So
Awesome.
hopefully you'll see some kind of a pie chart, maybe. I can't see the chart.
It's a bar. It says 100%.
100%. All right. And I will.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Share.
All righty. Well, that wasn't as painful as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't as painful as putting it, as working on it was. So I would like to take it this time, though, to get onto the good stuff. We got a handful of new members over the last couple of months. We had not read out some of those at the previous couple of months meetings. So I want to welcome Cindy Walker from Tuano, and I know Cindy from the Colonial Nature Photographer Club, and met her actually a time before that as well too. So it's great to have her aboard. She is a great photographer as well. Let's see here. Lost my list. Here we go. David Austin from Henrico, Fred Morton from Richmond, Gary Cornfield. There's Gary. He's also from Richmond, Gary Cornfield. Heidi Nunley, also from Richmond. Kim and Jim Gower from Newport News. So we're getting a few out of towners too. Kurt Engelman, Linda Houghton, Larry Holthus, Morgan Stanley from Emporia, Victoria Lua from Rockville, Sharon Kennedy, Joseph Tregetz, also from Richmond. So welcome to all of you all. We appreciate you joining us. We look forward to when we can meet you in person, and you can meet us in person. One of the things I love about this club, the absolute most, is the tremendous fellowship and kindness of the people too has been really the biggest gift of this, with all the other great stuff that you get with it. To me, that's always up there at the top of the list. And see here, as far as other work the board is doing, we were talking about this a little bit before the meeting officially started, but do want you to know that we are beginning. We're going to actually have a meeting tomorrow with folks from the church to kind of do a fact-finding mission of what we can do and how we can do it. We'll be working on so that those of you from out of town can still participate in meetings, or at times where you just can't make it in, you can jump in at the last minute and still get to the meeting. So we're going to have a hybrid approach come later in the summer, at whatever point it is when the universe determines that that it's safe for us to be together in person. Hopefully in the meanwhile, you're all getting a shot in the arm as well. And that's really great to see. Let's see here. Talked a little bit too already about need for a newsletter editor, if anyone's interested in that. And let's see, what else? Other committees. Do we have other committee members that had things they wanted to bring up to the membership? I believe, yes, go ahead, Mary Ann. Mary Ann, you got to unmute her. Unmute yourself, sorry.
Thank you. Keep an eye out for the meetup on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. We are going to be semi-hosting it with Sammy's Club, and Dave Black is going to be doing a light photography. You may have seen him do a little part of it in one of the webinars, but he's going to start at 8 p.m. and everybody could wear a Cinco de Mayo hat and bring something to drink. And he's going to show us a lot of really fun kind of hints on how to do it. And then from what we understand, there are going to be several meetups coming up where we can actually go out and do some light photography. So that's on May 5th. It's a meetup. Go ahead and sign up for it now. And don't forget, when you sign up for a meetup, Most likely you have to register with Eventbrite. And if you have any problem with that, just send me an email. So that's our big meetup. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Mary Ann. And thanks for all you do to get all that stuff out to our group too. We really appreciate it. Was there any other board members that had reports or things they needed to bring before the membership? Everyone good?
Bob,
Yes,
I'm
Ann.
not a board member, but if you have a moment, I'd like just to brief the group on some of the VPPA
Yes, thank you.
updates. One is on April 19th, and that's Virginia Real. It's their almost monthly, not quite, presentation, and they usually bring in some really good speakers. This one will be focusing on portraiture. So I know that fits the needs of some people, the other people it doesn't, but you can really pick and choose as to which of these you go to. You do not have to be a member to do this. So just go to the VPPA website and you can sign in there. Likewise, the other thing that they do, which I find very, very helpful, is a meeting that's called Pixel This. And it is just a group of photographers that get together. Some are pros, some are not. And you just bring any question you might have to the group. It could be something like, you know, what could I do to improve this image? Or do you know how to do X, Y, or Z on Photoshop? So it's a very friendly group. It's run by Steve Johnson. And that is meeting on Tuesday, April 20th at 7 p.m. And again, you can just sign up on the VPPA website for that. Or if you're a VPPA member, you can go to the Wild Apricot app and do it that way.
And for those of you who are new, the VPPA is the Virginia Professional Photography Association and is our liaison between the two groups. So thank you for bringing that news to us. If you have questions straight up for that too, we can just reach out to the general email and we can get that information to you. All righty. Does anyone else have anything they want to share to the group? All righty. Is Mr. Pappas here this evening or is he absent?
No, he could not join us tonight,
Right,
so I am going to do those honors. So I'm going to stop our recording and then we'll launch into our presentation part of the meeting.